Everyone, and thanks a lot for joining us. Sister Mukhtara, thank you for inviting me once again. May Allah bless you and accept it from you. Ameen.
Ameen.
So we want to make a continuation of our first discussion, which was regarding Nikahul Misyar or Zawajul Misyar. Misyar type of marriage. Alright, I believe that you have some more structured questions that you want to present this time, this go around. The way things can be more, well-rounded, or what the edges can be, more rounded, inshallah ta'ala. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
It's kind of like breaking up a little bit.
Alright, let me see what it could be.
For some reason.
Let me see, hold on.
I wonder if they can hear you well.
Connection should be good.
I see you better now.
It's better now? You can hear me better now? We're good? Okay, alright. Okay, so, inshallah ta'ala, we want to continue our discussion. And most importantly, we want to, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, get to the questions specifically, okay? Alright, inshallah. I did. You can read them to me, that'll be even better. If you can read them to me, that'll be even better.
Misyar is. You can start with that.
Okay, perfect. So we said in the last session.
And the views of based on the school of thoughts.
Clear.
Where they stand with it.
Clear. We said in the last session that Misyar marriage basically means an unconventional marriage. A marriage in which there are some components, some elements which are unorthodox. And what we mean when we say conventional and orthodox is a man coming home every night, waking up every morning with his wife, paying for the bills. They live together. They sleep with each other. She cooks for him. He pays the bills, so on and so on and so forth. It's conventional. It's traditional. They live in the same household, not in a different household.
Most of you breaking up.
Okay, let me try the AirPods again. Is it better now? It's better? Okay, perfect. So, we said that the Misyar marriage is basically a marriage which is unconventional, unorthodox. And it's unconventional and unorthodox based off of the consent and the agreement of the husband and the wife. Alright? Now we have the same problem as last week. The speech is being repeated. As I'm listening now, quiet, I can hear what I just said 30 seconds ago. Can you hear the same? It's breaking up. Okay, let's see. Can the people hear me now or no? I put the AirPods back on. The Bluetooth is on. No echo here. Okay. Last week when we were talking, we had the same problem. 30 seconds later, everything that I say would. So basically, I'm talking over myself. Yeah, but it's a big lag. 1 second. Okay, but 1 second. So everybody listening, you guys can hear me in the comments, but I'm getting a lag. Meaning, everything that I'm saying now is going to repeat 30 seconds later. So I'm going to be talking over myself a second time. Oh, sure. Bismillah. No problem. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Alright, hopefully it's better, inshallah. Alright, so we said that the Misyar marriage, to simplify things, we said that the Misyar marriage is an unconventional type of marital agreement. It's unorthodox. The words in English, unconventional and unorthodox, under any circumstance do they mean incorrect. English, if you have an unorthodox style, it doesn't mean it's a bad style. It doesn't mean it's a wrong style. It doesn't mean that it's an unlawful style or an illegal or legitimate style, but it is unorthodox, how it's supposed to be. Correct? Or orthodox conventional meal. You're going to have a starch, you're going to have a meat, you're going to have a vegetable, you're going to have something sweet, you're going to have something to drink. But a person says, I'm not eating meat. A person says, I'm not eating starch. I can't eat carbs. A person says, I'll have my drink 30 minutes after my meal. I'll have my drink 30 minutes before my meal. A person lives in Japan, in which they eat the sweet things before the food. According to the traditional, old school American way, that meal, that habit of eating will be called what? It'd be unorthodox, right? Unconventional, but it does not mean that it's bad and you can't eat that way, but it's just not the normal way, correct? Okay, perfect. So in order to understand Misyar marriage correctly and easily, simplifying it, we have to probably understand the traditional conventional marriage, and then we have to understand types of marriages which are also unconventional and unorthodox. So, hypothetically speaking, in the perfect world, the man leaves early in the morning with his lunch pail, his work boots. He says, Assalamu alaikum, honey, I'm leaving. He comes home when it's nighttime with an empty lunch pail. His back is aching. He's been working all day. His wife prepares the food for him. He takes a bath. He plays with the kids for a little bit. He reads them a story. He spends time with his wife, etc. Then they go to sleep and they wake up. Orthodox marriage. He's here at his home 7 days a week, 7 nights a week. Days and nights he's with his wife, with his children in one household. That's a traditional, orthodox, conventional type of marriage, correct? He pays all of the bills, gas, electric, water, internet, Wi-Fi. He pays for everything, right? Guys, in the comments, please just be a little patient. I'm going to explain it. You can't type and listen at the same time. You can't pay. That's what happened. No. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Sister Mukhtar. The people have to understand. This is exactly what happened last week. People, they were commenting and thinking and feeling and talking instead of doing what? Listening. The answer to the question is there. You just gotta listen though, inshallah ta'ala. We'll get there. So it's when I was younger, older people would tell me, if you're talking, you can't be listening. It's impossible. You can't listen and talk at the same time. Okay? You guys hear me or not? Hello? Can you hear me? Are you saying you hear me now? Okay, so it's very important, guys, to pay attention. You're going to miss the point if you're typing in and texting at the same time. All right? Everybody hear me now? Can you guys hear me? Audio is good. All right, tight. Bismillah. So, therefore, that's a traditional, orthodox, conventional type of marital agreement. The husband agrees to pay for everything. The wife agrees to be the housewife, the homemaker, to take care of the kids, to make the biscuits in the morning and the roasted chicken at night. Right? Every night, every day. Perfect. So, this shows us is that anything that goes against that is going to be unconditional or unconventional. Even before you get to polygamy, a husband marries a woman says, I have my own money. I have my own place. I have to work. Don't prevent me from working. Right? She says, I'll take care of this amount of the rent. You pay that amount of the rent. You pay the mortgage. I'll take care of this bill. That is also considered to be what? Unconventional, unorthodox. Correct or incorrect? Perfect. Now, number 3, third step is when there's a polygamous relationship. A man has more than one wife, more than one household. That's also going to be considered to be unorthodox, untraditional, unconventional. He's not in the same house every night, even though he's still paying all of the bills. Or even so, a woman, she says, I want to be your second wife. I know you don't have that much extra money. I'll take care of this amount. You take care of that. That's unorthodox. Correct or incorrect? Step number 4 is when a man marries a woman marries a man, whether it's monogamy or polygamy, it doesn't matter, one wife or 4, it doesn't matter. She says, we don't have to live on the traditional, conventional, orthodox terms. Time, place, location, rights, etc. You right now live in Chicago. You live in Chicago. I live in Patterson, New Jersey. I do not want to move to Chicago. Nor do I want you to move to Patterson. You work. You have a grandmother to take care of. We can't move. You live in the Midwest. I live on the East Coast. So therefore, we're going to agree to see each other once a month. Once a month. You'll fly to Patterson. Once a month, I'll drive to Chicago. In the summertime, it'll be once a week, etc., etc. And therefore, we're husband and wife. However or whatever we agree on is secondary. But the original point is we don't live in the same household. We don't live in the same block. We don't live in the same city. We don't live in the same state. We don't live in the same section of America. And that is ultimately what? That's unorthodox. That's tradition. That's not traditional. There you go. There you go. So Misyar marriage, the problem last week, Misyar marriage has nothing to do with deception. I quote, I repeat again. Misyar marriage has nothing to do with any type of deceit or deception. Period. We are in agreement whereupon full transparency, I only see you once a month. Or I live in Patterson and you live in Nova Scotia. Border between us. I'll see you every 6 months. I'll see you every 3 months. You live in Canada. You live in Australia. I'll visit you once a year. Right? And whatever the agreement is of financial expenses, I have money, I'll take care of all of your expenses even though I'm not living there. No problem. I can't enjoy you as a wife. I can't be there with you as a husband, but I'll pay for everything. Or she says, don't give me anything. But I want to be your legal Islamic wife. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to share my pain with you, my emotions with you, my happiness with you. I want to have access to you like a wife. Agreed? It has nothing to do with deception. The only thing that came up about deception, and there were reasons why many people were commenting last week, and their cups were full. The cups were not empty. They had too much in it. The cup has to be empty. You got to pour everything out to get what I'm trying to say. Is that scholars of Islam differ over this type of marriage. They differ. And one of the reasons why they differ, those who say that this marriage cannot be done. And the reason why it cannot be done is because it's too unorthodox. And it is relinquishing the basic responsibilities of the husband or the wife. It can go both ways. Not just the husband's not paying for it. The wife says, I'm not living in Chicago, so don't expect me to be there. You say, I want my rights. I want to sleep with you. I want to be intimate with you. I'm in Patterson. I'm sorry. We came to the marriage with that agreement. Oh, get on a plane and come see me. I miss you for the weekend. She says, I can't. Our agreement is next month I'll come and see you. Right? So it's not just about the man, but it's about both. The man or the woman. So those scholars who say that this marriage is unlawful, those who say this marriage cannot be done, one of the reasons is they say it leads to people being laxed concerning divorce. And people being in an easygoing type of relationship, and obviously a person can easily get out of that relationship. Similar to other types of marital agreements, such as mut'ah, which is known to be practiced by Shiite Muslims. Those who say a woman and a man, they get together and they say we're going to marry for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, we are divorced. You pay me this money and that's it. Khalas. That's unlawful in Islam. Unanimously. It's haram. And another type of marital agreement, when this is where things got really sticky and really hairy, is a man marrying a woman with the intention of divorcing. And of course, the same could be for a woman. But the people, they give good thought to a woman. A woman is not thinking like that. A man is going to think like that. A man is going to be traveling in the earth. A man is going to be going about. And in most cases, the stereotype that the man is going into the marriage with the intention of, I'm living in this country right now, and I'm only going to be here for 2 years. I don't want to make zina. I don't want to do anything unlawful. I want to get married. But for one reason or another, I can't go back home to my original country with this wife. It just won't work. She can't come. My mother won't accept her. She won't accept my family, etc. So if I'm marrying her, legal marriage, it's halal. But I know deep down in my mind is that when my visa is up in my studies, I'm leaving this country and I want to divorce her. Understand? Is that permissible or impermissible? Is that ethical, immoral? That's not the discussion. The discussion is the legality of it. The legality of it. So some scholars, and that is not Misyar marriage, but they say that is connected to Misyar and leads to it. Is that we get into the agreement of seeing each other once a month. I don't have to pay no bills. You don't have to cook for me. You don't have to do anything for me. We don't have that many responsibilities and obligations. It's very easily done away with. And a person can go into the Misyar marriage with that mindset of, this is a quick, simple thing, and whenever things get hot, I'm out. Peace. Lose my number. Don't text me. Don't send me no messages. Do you get it? But that does not mean that everybody doing the Misyar does it with that intention. Understand? The brother from Chicago married to the sister in Patterson have been married for 10 years. 10 years they've been married. They only see each other once a month. He pays half of her bills. When she comes and sees him in Chicago, she cooks for him, and she's a housewife once a month for a weekend or a week. Then she goes back to Patterson. That's it. Class. They love each other. There is no, come and go hanky-panky type of stuff. We're married, but it's unconventional. So Misyar, once again, Misyar marriage, once again, for those who got it a little unclear, we repeat it. Misyar marriage is not deception or deceit. Period. Some people say that it can be attached to deception or deceit. Like a man marrying with the intention of divorce. They say it could be similar to it because it's so easy and simple. Because it's unorthodox and untrue. Everybody understand the point? Yeah. So let's make an example of this now. A orthodox traditional breakfast. Right? Let's talk about our American culture. And we're not talking about what's healthy breakfast. We're not talking about vegans. We're not talking about cancer and diabetes. But we're talking about the traditional American way, right? The traditional American breakfast, a Southern breakfast, an English breakfast is going to be bacon. It's going to be sausage. It's going to be some biscuits, pancakes maybe, and some eggs and orange juice. Correct or incorrect? Perfect. Of course, the different variations. You get fish and grits, cranberry juice, cheese, grits, whatever the case may be, right? So, in America, back in the day, down south or whatever, you wake up in the morning, you smell the bacon, right? It's sizzling. They're cooking. It's being prepared. There's no way you're going to miss breakfast. If you don't smell the bacon, you're going to smell the sausage. If you don't smell the sausage, you're going to smell the biscuits. If you don't smell the biscuits, you're going to hear the eggs being cracked. But you're not going to miss the breakfast, right or wrong. And that's a traditional Orthodox breakfast, which is relatively hard to skip and to ignore. Correct or incorrect? Perfect. Now, in 2021, I'm going to have an untraditional breakfast. My breakfast is going to be almond slices, cranberries, and gluten-free oatmeal. Right or wrong? You guys with me or not? It's already pre-made. It's packed. It's cold in the refrigerator. I'm eating the gluten-free oatmeal. I warm it up. Is it easy for me to skip that breakfast or not? Possible or impossible? It's very possible. I can forget it. I'll put it in a bag. It's cold. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's so unorthodox and unconventional, it's easier to neglect it or to abandon it. But the traditional breakfast is no way you're going to leave the house without smelling the bacon. Everybody got the point? So the point is that Misyar has nothing to do with deception. The scholars who say that it's unlawful, one of the reasons why they say it's unlawful is because they say it's too easy and it can easily turn into something that it's not. That's all we said. Khair inshallah. So therefore, the two views of the modern day scholars, and one of the reasons why it's a modern day issue is because the reasons behind Misyar weren't as strong then as they are now. Okay, our Islam is different. Some examples of Misyar, perfect. Well, we don't really have them because it didn't necessarily exist. Things were easier then. It wasn't back then when a man refused to marry off his daughter, he couldn't get away with it like that. Do you understand? Nowadays, a man, he can have a daughter and he can get away with it. She's 18 years old. He says, no, finish school. Finish your masters. Finish your doctors. He's not good enough. He's not black enough. He's not white enough. He's not Arab enough. He's not rich enough. He's not such and such enough. So a man, unfortunately, he can oppress his daughter. He can prevent her from getting married with a bunch of, nonsense excuses, much more than back in the day. So the reality of a woman being 40 years old, not married, is extremely practical nowadays. Back then it wasn't like that. She's 16 years old, she's getting married. 18 years old, she's getting married. She's khalas. You're a grown woman, I give you my blessings, leave my house. Your husband is your caretaker now. It's not like that nowadays. So therefore there are more unorthodox things going on, which cause the need for unorthodox marriages to go on. Make sense or not? The sister in Patterson, New Jersey, she just accepted Islam. She comes from a Catholic family. She can't just leave. But she wants to be married to their brother in Chicago. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. When a Muslim became a Muslim, they made hijrah. But there are the principles of it in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Whereas the Muslims came together upon what they agreed on. A perfect example of this is the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. He says, "Iltamis walau khataman min hadid." He said, marry the woman and give her a marital gift, even if it's an iron ring. The man didn't have money. In other words, he didn't have the conventional means of performing the marriage. And the Prophet, he made an exemption. He compromised. He gave him an exceptional rule. Marry the woman even if it's an iron ring. And the hadith says, زَوَّجْتُكَ بِمَا مَعَكَ مِنْ كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. He says, I marry you off to this woman with the Quran that you've memorized. That's unorthodox. That's unconventional. A poor man who has no money, but he has knowledge of the Quran. So that's an example of two Muslims coming together upon unconditional terms. Understand? The Prophet ﷺ, he had different wives. When he was dying, all of his wives allowed him to stay in Aisha's home, Soda, etc., in which a woman or man, they relinquished some of their rights just to make the situation go through, to make the deal go through. I want to be married to you, bottom line. If I can only see you once a year, so be it. If you can only come and see me such and such, so be it. Instead of us not being married because of the unconventional situation. Understand? Can you guys hear me now? Clear. All right. So everybody clear on that point on what it is, and the most important is the concept. We have to conceptualize the words. That's all Misyar is that a man and a woman agreeing on non-traditional terms. And there are some people who say no. And the reason why they say no is because the lack of commitment could lead to other problematic things, such as deceit, or such as easy marriages, easy divorces, etc. That's all. Yeah, the deception part, that came from a man, the issue or the discussion of a man marrying a woman with the intention of divorce, or a woman marrying a man with the intention of divorce, which isn't Misyar, as we just explained. All right, let's take some questions from the people then live, inshallah. Yeah, sure. One question says, so it was made easy but not called Misyar. That's one question from Sister Aliyah J. Nubi. All right, you got to understand a principle. The basic answer to the question is yes, in general, basically. But you got to understand is that words versus concepts. And many people, it's like a mouse. They get stuck on a glue trap. They try to run past and they get stuck. People get stuck on words and they don't get stuck on the principle, the practice. So we have people who say today that the concept of hijab is not Quranic. It isn't Quranic. And these people, they say rather the word hijab itself is not even mentioned in the Quran. So Muslims in Pakistan, Muslims in Egypt, Muslims in Nigeria, Muslims around the world, they beat these women, they force them to cover up, they oppress them, they do whatever they want for something that's not even in the Quran, right? And this person, this speaker, they think that they are making a profound Shakespearean type of point, like, ooh, groundbreaking. Wow, hijab's not even mentioned in the Quran. Wow, 1400 years. Muslims are so dumb and stupid. They were forcing their women, beating them with sticks for something that's not even mentioned in the Quran. Wow, how revolutionary. For 1400 years, over 1400 years, all scholars of all schools of thought, they were dumb and stupid until you appeared on TEDx. And you came with a groundbreaking asteroid that the word hijab is not even mentioned in the Quran. Oh, the weakness of the people's minds. The word hijab, whether it's mentioned in the Quran or not, does it matter if the concept of hijab is vividly mentioned in the Quran? Cover yourself, your breast, your bosoms, your neck, your head, your feet. If that's mentioned in the Quran, then what do you think is the concept of hijab? So people that get stuck on a glue trap, they get stuck there and they get caught up on the word and the term and they don't look at the actual hardcore concept. So if the Prophet allowed people to come together on unconventional terms, unconventional situations, if you want to call that Misyar, then that's what it is. And it doesn't matter whether the word was mentioned or not, because that's the Misyar is not a Quranic word. Hijab is not, it's not, so it makes no difference. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that's not the same as other things. in which the word and the concept are divinely sent down, like salah. As-salah. Salah, the word itself in the Quran. The concept of praying 5 times a day is where? In the Quran. But if the word salat wasn't mentioned in the Quran, no problem. You can call it what you want. You can call it namaz, call it prayer, call it meditation. But for 5 times a day, you got to put your face on the rug, bend your back, sit on your knees, get up, recite this, because that's mentioned in the Quran. So it's not about the term, it's about the concept. And of course, if the term and the concept is mentioned in the Quran, then that's even better. Understand? The marital contract is still valid. They come together with Misyar, and then later on she says, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of living in Patterson. I want to go to Chicago with you. No problem. But they got to renegotiate it. Because the husband may say, no, you can't come to Chicago. I can't afford you. Or whatever. My other wife won't accept whatever the problem is. I can't. So now they got to talk about it. They got to talk about it. And this is also a problem of the Misyar marriage that some scholars bring up, is that it's unconventional commitments and agreements and rights and responsibilities, which can later on lead to problems. So right there you go. Right now, I'm cool. I'm gonna be patient. But the first time we met and I sat with you, we drank coffee together in a cafe, I fell in love with you. I can't imagine not being with you every day anymore. I can't be hundreds and thousands of miles away from you. I'm tired. I miss you too much. And the husband or the woman, don't gotta be the husband. The sister could say, no, I need my space. Please, only see me once a month. And he says, I want to see you every night. She says, no, I have a career. I'm a doctor and I want my space. Now that's a problem. No, they're not. They're not considered misyar. Oftentimes they could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Now, if a man has a wife or wives, and he has other wives that he doesn't see as often, if that's, and the other wives don't know, then that's the type of, that could be a misyar. But a man may not have no wife, period. I mean, no other wives. He may hide his marriage from his parents. He may hide he may hide it from the government. Allah Alam. What's the reason why it's secret? Doesn't mean that it's misyar. He may go home every night to that wife. He may sleep every night with that wife. He wakes up every morning with the fish and the grits and the bacon. But he doesn't tell other people, his parents, for example. His parents, they may think he lives in a dorm. He's going to college and he's married. He has an apartment in which he lives with his wife every single day and night. There's no misyar. He pays the bills. She's there for him, but he didn't tell his parents yet. So a secret marriage does not have to be a misyar, but oftentimes misyar marriages can be secret. No question, for sure. But it's going to be based off of, like we said, the hadith, the Muslims are upon their conditions. Al-Muslimuna ala shurutihim. We agree. It's like a job. You say, look, I want to renegotiate my contract. Okay, no problem. Come on, let's sit at the table. But the problem comes in if one person says, no, I'm not paying you no extra money because I agreed to give you such and such. That's when هذا هو. Not necessarily. It could be more barakah. Could be better. Yeah, you can have more barakah. You might have children by that woman. She may be a better wife. He may be a better husband than a husband that's there with you every night, arguing with you, fighting with you, oppressing you, right? Getting on your nerves. It's reality. Let's keep it real. Yeah, so it may have more barakah. Space. A woman, you love her, she loves you. And, we have our space. That may have more barakah than the woman's at home going through your phone, complaining, oh, talk to me, spend time with me, take me out, buy me more jewelry. Allahu Alam. Answer that question. Wa fikum barakallah. Doesn't matter, majority or minority. It's about the proof and the evidence. Next question. Answer that. We answered that. Doesn't have to be location. That's right. It doesn't have. We explained. Doesn't have to be the same location. Next question. Okay, that's all the questions, guys. So we'll take questions from any other subject if the people want, inshallah. Yes, marriage can be secret for sure. There's no question about that. Like as long as if everything is done properly, yes. There's a wali, there are witnesses, the two eligible spouses. In other words, for something to be invalid, something to be impermissible, we have to understand what makes it valid. What are the conditions of a valid marriage? Everybody and their mother knowing about it is not one of those conditions. I'm sorry? No, the Prophet ﷺ, he never said that every marriage has to be broadcasted between everybody. Somebody has to know. The wali, the witnesses. If you want to tell some people, invite people to the walima, etc., that's fine. But we may be in a situation which you say, I don't want every person knowing about my marriage. It's not unlawful. It's not impermissible. As long as the conditions are fulfilled. Let alone the fact that we have to understand is that we're dealing with unconditional. It's not standard stuff here. I have a situation, my lifestyle, your ex-husband, my ex-wife, in which we don't need or want that drama right now. We're permissible together. It's according to Quran and Sunnah. It's not zina, and that's the way I want it to be. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as the marriage is valid. And once again, everybody knowing the marriage is not a condition of the validity of marriage. Put the period at the end of the sentence. Bang. That is not لَيْسَ هَذَا مِنْ شُرُوطِ صِحَّةِ الزَّوَاجِ. Before we can understand what's invalid, we have to understand what makes the marriage valid. What are the basic things that need to be done? Understand? Alright, so what is a sandwich? Let's make an example of a sandwich. What is a sandwich? What necessitates something being a sandwich? In the culinary rules. Can you hear me? What are in the rules of the culinary arts? What makes a marriage? What makes a sandwich a sandwich? And there you go. So I have a veggie sandwich. Oh, that can't be a sandwich. You have to have meat on it. Says who? I have a hamburger and I don't have sesame seed bun. That's not a real hamburger. Says who? It could be pita bread. It could be a hot dog roll. It could be anything. A sandwich is a sandwich. Like you said, some type of bread and something in between. Done. Dry, sauce, cheese, lettuce. It's a sandwich. Those are the necessary staple components of a valid sandwich. I'm allergic to sesame seeds. I can't. I have a legal issue going on right now. My parole. I can't. I'm not allowed to get married right now. I have a crazy ex-wife. that's going to rip up destroy my tires and break my windows if she found I have another wife right now. But at the same time, I need to be married. So therefore, we've chosen to keep the marriage secret. Whether it's temporarily secret or secret for however long we need it to be secret. As long as the necessary conditions are there, it's a sandwich. Hey man, that's your problem. You got to deal with that. Okay? If they don't know that she's off the market, you got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. That's your problem. That's one of the sacrifices that you make with an unconventional contract. Is the car still for sale? You got to deal with that. It's literally that simple. No, thank you, brother. Further. Can you hear me? Say the question one more time. It's a good thing to do. It gives you liability. It gives you liability that where people, they know that we're married. It brings liability. But it is not a condition. No, it's not a condition. It is not an obligatory thing. Marriage is between man, woman, guardian, witness. Done. A sandwich, once again, guys, is 2 pieces of bread. Wheat, grain, oats, rye, Jewish rye, swirled rye, potato bread, 2 pieces of bread, and something inside. I have a lettuce sandwich. I have a cheese sandwich. I have a hamburger. I have salmon burger. I have a fish sandwich. I have a hoagie. I have a sub. I have a hero. I have Kaiser roll. Whatever you call it, however you mix it up. As long as the necessary conditions are there. And none of those necessary conditions, none of them it has to be at a masjid. La. It's not a condition. But if you want to do that for liability, for clarity, for ease, for responsibility, alhamdulillah, that's best. But we're talking about, once more, guys, we're talking about we're talking about guerrilla warfare. It's not a large country fighting another country. It's unconventional tactics for unconventional times. We explained that already. It could be, or maybe it's not. But la yalzam, it's not a must. A marriage can be secret in monogamy. Like we just said, our brother's going to school. He's 18. He's afraid of falling into zina. He wants to get married. His parents said, if you get married, we'll stop paying for college. If you get married, we'll disown you. You have to have a law degree. You have to be an engineer before you get married. You're 18. You have to wait until you're 35 to get married. He wants to get married to protect himself. He likes his sister. They get married. They keep it secret. Secret marriages and Misyar have nothing to do with polygamy. It could be with monogamy. Empty the cups, guys. The cups are getting full again. Next question. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Hopefully. Well, that's what I said in the beginning. As those scholars who hold that view, one of the reasons why they say you can't do it is because it can go left. Understand? But it's another thing that we missed out on, and that is Misyar marriage does not always have to be secret. Who said that? No one said that Misyar had to be secret. That's a full cup again. Me and the sister, I'm in Chicago. The sister's in Patterson. We got married when she was in Chicago or she was in Patterson. Everybody knew about it. Everybody saw it. But we're not moving in with each other. So it's Misyar. I'm not paying all of her rent. She's not preparing all of my meals together. And it doesn't mean that the marriage was secret. Everybody understand? So it doesn't mean that it has to be secret, number one. Number two, it doesn't mean that it has to be second wife, third wife, fourth wife. وهكذا. But we can't forget something is that marriage can go left in any circumstance. Me being an imam, I could tell you all types of horror stories of traditional, conventional marriage in the masjid, marriage contracts, witnesses, $50,000 mahar, etc., and a horror story. So if a person is irresponsible, and if a person is trying to do something haram and trying to slip and slide, and then of course they can abuse any system, and of course they're going to abuse a Misyar system, or they're going to abuse a secret marriage system for sure. So it can go left. I agree. So you got to know yourself. You got to know your boundaries. You got to know your limits. But the beauty about Islam is just because a person abuses the system or does something wrong, it doesn't mean that everybody suffers. If that was the case, then marriage would be impermissible in Islam. Because I know 100 brothers that abuse their wives. I know 100 sisters that abuse their husbands, disrespect their husbands, cheat on their husbands, don't love their husbands, mistreat their husbands' children. So just because there are people who abuse the system, it doesn't mean that now no one can benefit and correctly use the system. And this is one of the biggest doubts about marriage today, outside of Islam. And it's also one of the biggest doubts about polygamy or polygyny inside of Islam. Non-Muslims, they say, what's the purpose of you getting married? You're only going to get divorced. You're going to fight. You're going to argue. You're going to have a baby. You're going to be divorced. You're going to be going to child support court. Just have a girlfriend, man. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Me and my girl right now, we're happier than Abdullah and Fatima. We're happier. Our sex life is better. We have no arguments. We have no fights. We go out. I take her to the movies, to dinner. We have no problems. You guys are married. You wear all of those clothes, and you're in the masjid every weekend getting counseling. Is that not a valid argument or not? For sure, that's a valid argument. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Do you know how many people I have to counsel on a daily basis? So therefore, somebody can come around and they can say, don't get married. What's the purpose of getting married? It's only going to end bad. It's only going to be divorce. Yo, bro, you're going to get a divorce. He's going to cheat on you. He's going to bring an STD home. Don't even get married. Somebody can make that argument. So therefore, we change the rules in Islam? No. And within Islam, the Muslims who say, don't get a second wife, don't be a second wife. Because if a man has more than one wife, he's going to oppress them. He's not going to be fair. She's going to be jealous. She's going to go through his phone. She's going to send nasty text messages. Such and such. You can't get married by the state. You can't inherit blah, 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 blah. And all they do is mention the negativities, whether it's the majority or not. And then they say, therefore, the system shouldn't be practiced because of the people misusing the system. And that's not Islam. And if we open up that door, we're finished as Muslims. And that's because religion, you can make the argument about religion. How many wars were fought in the name of religion? How many people were killed in the name of religion? How many women were raped in the name of religion? How many people were enslaved in the name of religion? Jew, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, pagans, idol worshippers. They fought in the name of their gods. So this is why many people say religion is the cause of division and separation. That's why we have the different movements, whether it's communism or whatever it is. It's a no religion. We want everyone in this country to be under one banner, one flag. Religion separates and it divides. Religion causes schisms. Look how many schisms the Christians split up into. Right or wrong? So therefore, the people that come say there should be no religion. Don't believe in God, period. So if you try to use people misusing the system and to abolish the system, you'll leave Islam. That's the danger of that. And you have to look at it holistically like that. You have to. Alright guys, Jazakumullah khairan. Thanks a lot once again. Have fun. Hopefully this will lead to more discussion and more thinking and people researching more, inshallah. That's the purpose. I can't give you everything. I said it's impossible for me to give the people everything. You know? Jazakumullah khairan. You guys take care. Wa fikum barakallah. Fikum barakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.